Hi friends, let us see the fifth problem in formulation of LPP. Let us go to the problem. A company manufactures two types of products, A and B. Each unit of B takes twice as long as to produce one unit of A. And if the company produces only A, it would have time to produce 2000 units a day. Now, this is the first constraint, guys. Uh, it's a time constraint wherein this is the time constraint wherein unit B takes twice as long as to produce A. A, how much ever, if A takes 1 minute, then B takes 2 minutes. If A takes 1 hour, um, you know, B takes 2 hours. So if company is to produce only A, then it would have 2000 units. Now this only means that combined A, 1A plus 2B is less than equal to 2000. You can assume that because together A and B, it should come down to, if company is producing only A, then it is 2000 units. Now, if company is producing A and B, it should be less than or equal to 2000. Why? Because if all A's are produced, then B is 0. At that time, it will be equal to 2000. If n number of A are produced and one B is produced, then it is less than 2000 units. So in that way, A and B combined, it is 2000 units. Okay, it is a bit tricky here. You need to apply your minds. The availability of raw material is sufficient to produce 1500 units per day, A and B combined. This is the second constraint what they have, and the third constraint what they have is the B requiring a special ingredient. Only 600 units can be prepared per day. This is the third requirement, that is it requires a special ingredient and only 600 units can be produced per day. That means that B is less than equal to 600 units. Now product A fetches 2 rupees profit and product B fetches 4 rupees profit, and they have asked us to formulate this LPP. Now let us see and try to solve this particular problem. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Now, what they've given us here is there are two products, that is A and B. There are two products, that is A and B. Now, first one is the time constraint, I would say. Basically, it's a time constraint. Now, or the quantity constraint, you can say. Basically, let's go back to the problem and just see. Yes, basically you can say it as the time constraint. Okay, so I'm writing here it as time constraint only. So if A takes 1 minute, now B takes twice as of A, that is 2. Now if only A is produced, how much quantity of A they can produce? They can produce 2000 quantities of A if they are producing only A. That means that if they are producing only A, let's say 100, let x1 be, I just solve this for you, get the clear interpretation. Let x1 be the number of products of A produced. Now only x1 they are producing. If they produce only x1, they are not producing x2 at all. Okay, if x2 they are producing nothing, that is 0, all they will be producing is 2000 units. Okay, now let's say this x1 is, let's say, 100 units they are producing, plus 0 x2, that is 200 they are able to produce. Now, if 1 unit of B they are producing, of course, they will be producing this x1 less than 100. Now, this number of units will come down to less than 2000 at that time. So that's why it makes sense that we take 1x1 plus 2x2 is less than or equal to 2000. That's the logic behind this problem. However, the next criteria what they've given is the availability of raw materials is sufficient to produce is 1500 A and B combined. So here the availability of raw material is just 1500, that is raw material constraint, that is 1 plus 1, it is 2. And the last one is the ingredient constraint, that is they have certain ingredient which is required for product B, and they will be able to product B requiring a special ingredient, only 600 unit can be produced in per day. Okay, they can produce 600 units per day. If we see the profits of each of the product, it is 2 rupees for product A and 4 rupees for product B. Okay, now this is the interpretation of the problem. Let x1 and x2 be the number of products of A and B respectively. And the first one is the objective function. Objective function. Now, objective function is 2x1. We are trying to maximize the profit, of course, because here is it's a profit problem. It is 2x1 plus 4x2. Z is equal to x1 plus 4x2 is the objective function. And second one is the constraints, that is x1 plus 2x2. x1 plus 2x2 is less than or equal to 2000. If they ask you to produce only A, then the equation will be x1 is equal to 2000. Okay, since you are producing B also, that's why it is less than or equal to. That's the logic behind this time constraint. Then the raw material constraint, it is x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 1500. And the last constraint is ingredient, that is you can produce, you have the ingredient such that you can produce not more than 600. That is x2 is less than or equal to 600. Now we have to satisfy all these three constraints. And the last one is the non-negativity. I would say n constraint, that is x1 is greater than or equal to 0 and x2 is greater than or equal to 0. So this is the problem. So we'll see the next problem in the next video. Thank you.